Hey everybody, I'm Randy at All About Living, and tonight, I guess you could say I'm giving Tammy a break, okay? Don't expect this very often, but we were talking about what we were going to have for dinner tonight, and so she says, well, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. Oh, how about some sausage, or how about some eggs? Because, you know, she loves to have breakfast for dinner. Don't know where that came from, but what we're having tonight brings back a lot of memories to me, okay? Because we decided that we were going to do home fries with eggs and onions. Now, when I was young and I was about 12 years old, my dad took me deer hunting for the first time, and he used to love to go to West Virginia and go hunting in the mountains. The mountains are just so beautiful and the deer are just freaking huge. Okay, so if you're up in West Virginia, why don't you leave a comment below and tell me how them deer are doing. Down here, they're no bigger than a dog. Okay, but what we're going to be having is home fries with eggs and onions. And I'm going to add some smoked sausage just to put a layer of flavor on there, make Tammy happy. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay guys, I guess this is how it's done, right? I mean, if you've watched the other videos, this is usually what we do. All right, so we're gonna go over what we're gonna need, okay? A couple small, minute variations, all right? Instead of bacon, we're going to have sausage. But what we're going to do is we're going to cook the potatoes and onions and the eggs and some bacon grease. We got onions and we got sliced potatoes. Tammy was nice enough to get this all cut up. We're going to need a few eggs. I don't think we'll need that many. We'll probably throw about 4 of them in there. And we got a little bit of butter, we got some salt, and we got some pepper. And that's it, guys. That's all you're gonna need. Okay, now normally you would take you some bacon, however much you want. Cook it up in a pan and get your bacon grease. But being that we've got bacon grease in the can, or jar, that's a jar. Means that we got some bacon grease, I don't need to worry about cooking any bacon. But what we're gonna do is we're probably gonna sear up some sausage and add that in there too. All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and brown up this sausage first. It doesn't matter when you do that because you're just gonna end up having to set it off to the side anyway, and then when you put it back in the pot with the potatoes and the onions, it'll warm it back up. But that's what we need to do, is get this pan here going with this sausage. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Tammy says the pan's got to be hot. So we're going to let that pan get hot. Is it hot yet? Anyway, I wanted to tell you guys, you know, if you're going to be taking your boys out to go hunting for the first time, I know we got a lot of guys out there. Trust me, I know. Take your boy hunting, cook him this breakfast, or have Mama cook this breakfast for him before he heads out the door to go hunting, and he'll never forget it. 4 o'clock in the morning, home fries with eggs and onions, good to go. Okay, my pan is hot, so I need to get me some butter. I was rummaging around here and I didn't see anything, but I'm gonna wing it with a wooden spoon. And I'm just gonna put whatever amount of butter that is in the pan. And I'm just gonna get that butter melted. Ooh, I'm getting it like Tammy. All right. Let that butter heat up a little bit. Looking good. All right. Butter's bubbling. in the pan, and I'm gonna add my sausage, and I'm gonna get it browned up. Woohoo! Look at that. Listen to the sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. I learned that one from Tammy. Sizzle, sizzle. So I'm just gonna put it in here and mix it up and get that butter all mixed up on that sausage, okay? And I got it on like a medium low heat, okay? So we're just gonna let that go. I'm not in a hurry with this right now, but we're just gonna let it kind of brown up. Whoop, I should have my match went out. But you know what? I told Tammy to do this. Let the stove up and relight the match off the burner. How about that? All right, and I got to get this pan heated up. That's hot. And I think I want that on a medium high for right now. Yep. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bacon grease and I'm just going to put it in here and cover the bottom of the pan. You know, just whatever, like bacon grease, whatever, you know, a half a pound of bacon would produce. And we're just going to shake it up like that. Get that bacon grease spread around in that pan. Going to take the potatoes. I'm just guessing all this, guys. It's going to take the potatoes longer to cook than anything. But I got to let that... Oh, I should have waited till I got that pan hot. Now, starting to get hot. And I'm going to turn that flame down just a little bit more. There you go. Just above low. Pan's hot. Ow. Yep, it's hot. So I'm gonna put those in there. This isn't complicated. You know, I remember, you know, I never had home fries with eggs and onions. My dad never made it at the house. And my mom would never really make it either. I don't ever remember having it. It was the first time that we went hunting that he had made this. And I'm gonna tell you what, when I had it at 12 years old, it was jam up. Loved every single bite. The bacon grease is really what makes this taste good. So I'm just gonna let these guys cook here for just a little bit. Yeah, that morning after you know, after we had breakfast, you know, 4 o'clock in the morning, dark, we were staying in this old, I think it was like an old fifth wheel. And, you know, it had a stove, fridge, and stuff like that, but it was like really old. I think this was like in 1972, 73, and that camper must have been like a 1950s model. Okay, it was falling down. It wasn't all that great a shape, and they just had a mattress thrown up in there, and we just slept on it. Nothing fancy, but you're going hunting, right? So anyway, we got up and headed to the woods, and he actually got permission from an old farmer to hunt on his property, and he took me over and stuck me in the side of the woods, and he would always do his best to make sure that he would drive the deer and steer him towards me so I could get a shot. Okay, so what we got to do right now, these guys are cooking. Oh, there ain't a shaker side. It's got a little hole. I'm just going to coat the top of these potatoes. I don't want to go overboard because that salt is like crystals and it's real strong. But this right here, I don't care how much you put of this on there. I love me some peppercorn pepper. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just cover and grind. Oh gosh, I can smell that bacon grease cooking. Man, that is gonna be so good. Okay guys, you know, like Tammy says, salt and pepper is all relative. Easy on the salt, you can always add that in there, but that pepper, I'd put it in. My sausage is actually doing pretty good over here. Oh, that's gonna smoked sausage and butter. Interesting. All right, but anyway, on this trip that we went in, I got to tell you this because this is funny and my dad doesn't know about this to this day. But if he watches this video, he will. All right, so he takes me to this pasture, this meadow, this beautiful green meadow. And so he sticks me in the side of the woods. And you know, we got up at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, right? Well, guess what I did? I laid down and I went to sleep. Okay, he took me out there when it was dark. So here we go. And I'm just, you know, just snoozing away. I wake up and I look out over the pasture. And there is this beautiful, now it's bow season, okay? Does were legal. There was this beautiful 6-foot doe just grazing out there in that field, right straight in front of me. My heart just started thumping. I've never been deer hunting before, and I saw that deer. That was the first deer I had ever seen in the wild. And I got to stir this stuff up here real quick. Anyway, that was the first deer that I had ever seen in the wild. And so anyway, my dad stuck his head out of the woods at the other end of the field. He was coming to check to make sure I got a shot at that deer. Well, I put that bow, you know, right alongside my, or the arrow right alongside my bow and kind of hit it a little bit. And I ran out to the middle of the field and I reached down and acted like I was picking my arrow up. Now you want to talk about, you know, that's something else. That was funny. So my dad comes over. You know, my heart's still racing. I swear, my heart was just thumping at 12 years old. I'll never forget that day. Ooh boy, I got a chance to taste some of this flavor coming out of this pan. And I am in utter awe of how good this is going to be. The salt, peppercorn pepper, the bacon grease, it's all coming together. We're just going to get this all incorporated. All right, guys. Now I'm going to show you how you add onions to this. Okay. First, I'm going to go ahead and do like that, right? Now, pay close attention. Pay close attention. This will add the final touch. Voila. That's how you add onions. All right. This sausage is browning up really nice. I can smell the butter in that sausage too. Am I allowed to taste one? Here, let me do this. That's going to be a nice addition. And my meat is not sticking to the pan. That's a plus. And my potatoes and onions are not sticking to the pan. So that's another plus. Tammy says, yeah. But I am going to attempt to do my best to not ruin this dinner. Oh, let me tell you another story real quick. On that same hunting trip, right? So we go to these other mountains, and the mountains are like huge, and the trails leading up the mountains were like that, okay? And you could see where the deer had run these peaks all up and down. And so he puts me on one end with a bow, okay? And then he goes to the other end and he drives these deer. You know, they're trying to get away from him because he's making all kinds of noise, and he's just walking up the side of the mountain, and he wants them to go in the direction where I'm at. He was really trying his darndest. But what are you going to do with a 12-year-old who has never been hunting with a bow before, right? There must have been 8 locomotive-sized deer come over the ridge, head down to the trail, and here's this little 12-year-old. You want to talk about a deer in the headlights? And it wasn't them, it was me. Home fries with eggs and onions. I think we don't need very much more. I just want to see these potatoes brown up on the edges just a little bit, and I see it's starting to come around. Let me try to get these all flattened out. Just my preference. Oh yeah, that's looking real good. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, that's gonna be a good potato. All right, I think maybe about another 2-3 minutes. I think I'm gonna add my eggs. So far so good, Tammy. Don't have any sticking. See, she's gonna have to clean this pan after I get done. Man, doesn't that look freaking awesome? Oh, and I wanted to tell you too, this is something you can do over a campfire. You know, so if you're out in like 3 foot of snow out there in the mountains or something like that, and you got your fire going, get you a skillet, set you up great, and you can cook this right over the fire. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna shut this stove off because it's all good. And I'm just gonna let it finish cooking in the heat that it has to cook in. Tammy calls that residual heat. Actually, I taught that to her. It's residual heat. And what I'm gonna do now is get me something to pick up this pot so I can get them. No, you know what? Maybe I can get them out of there with a spoon. Or should I put all that butter? Nah, I don't want to ruin the other stuff. Okay, so let me make sure we're not sticking here. I'm gonna shut it off too. Now I'm just gonna add this sausage into there here. Anyway, I want you guys to see the transformation. Look at this. I'm gonna put all this in there, all that sausage. Okay, yikes, that's hot. Okay, and then, now this is done. Everything in here is done. Take your spoon. Woohoo, look at that. Perfectly cooked potato. Okay. Just take that and turn it. Oh my goodness. Now if that isn't a breakfast to get ready to go do some hunting. Alright folks, guys, moms, dads, cook this for your boy on his first hunting trip. He'll never forget it. Ain't that super, super, super good? Alright folks, guys, gents, moms, dads, and if you're littling and your daddy fitting to take you hunting for the first time, you tell him you want some home fries with eggs and onions. Come throw some smoked sausage in there too. Y'all take care. Bye.